Ani Megazekwe Dishnakos, Makwadoram, Beaver Lake Cree Nation, Alberta Dinjaba. Hello, my English name is Melissa. I originate from northeastern Alberta and I'm registered with Beaver Lake Cree Nation. One of the things I've been asked to do is to share through video some of the teachings and understandings I have of the teachings that were shared with me by those that I've had the great opportunity to meet in my journey when I wanted to begin to learn those cultural ways or those traditional teachings. And I did that by going through ceremonies and traditional gatherings and powwows in many different ways and building relationships with those. And one of the things I wanted to do was to be able to have my children learn about these ways as well so they can have pride in themselves and their identity and have an understanding of these cultural ways so they could feel that connection in their life for who they are and be able to appreciate, value, and love that. It was very important for me to know my children can learn that. And so one of the things that I shared is about those grandmother moon teachings. Some of the people I've learned from and I sat with and were those people who are Ojibwe or Anishinaabe. And they taught me a lot. And I really appreciate what they taught me. I mean, some of those older ones have passed on and taken that journey through that Western doorway already, and I will never forget them for what they shared with me and how they took me in and taught me and I appreciate that so much. And so what I want to do is I want to share this upcoming moon month teaching, which is July 2020. So Miskomini Gizis, Mskomini Gizis, Miskomini Gizis. The seventh moon of creation is Raspberry Moon, when great changes begin. By learning gentleness and kindness, we may pass through the thorns of its brush and harvest its fruit as we gain knowledge that will help in raising our families. When I reflect on those 13 grandmother moons, they kind of remind me of our life cycle. I've heard those teachers and those grandmothers and grandfathers and elders talk about those 13 grandmother moons, and there's many different teachings out there on the 13 grandmother moons depending on the community and the territory and the nation we're learning from. And with my reflection on it, I look at the fact that there's 13 grandmother moons in 1 year, and those 13 grandmother moons, we travel around those moons in our life journey, that life cycle, and we'll learn many things throughout that life cycle, and we go through many experiences in our journey in that life cycle, those 13 grandmother moons. Like when your birthday comes up, they talk about being able to travel around those 13 grandmother moons are with them that make up that year. So what I look at when I reflect on this, gentleness and kindness, it reminds me also of the sweetgrass. Wingush, Wingush. My daughter's name is Wingush. And, when smelling that sweetgrass, the hair of our Mother Earth, it's exactly that, sweet, very sweet medicine, sacred medicine. And my understanding of that, it reminds us to be kind to one another, be gentle with one another. And that's what it takes to raise a family. I have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. And I know there's many grandmothers and grandfathers, great-grandparents, aunties and uncles, moms, dads, who are raising these children and our children. And with raising our families, we learn every day with them. And one of the things I know is learning to be patient and learning to be gentle and kind with our children, with our families. because learning to be gentle and kind is able to give them an opportunity to appreciate what they're learning as well. Learning to be um, have empath, be empathetic to others. That comes through nurturing our families, nurturing our children, nurturing ourselves, our partners. That comes through being nurturing. They say that when a child is nurtured, they learn to have empathy for others, to be able to put themselves in others' places, to be able to have that patience, gentleness, and kindness too. As a mom, this is what I hope I've done for my children and wanted to do with them, is to be able to have that gentleness and that kindness. When I was young, I would go berry picking with my cookum and other family members. And I really loved picking the raspberries. I actually love raspberries. I probably a bit more than the strawberries, because they are a little bit sweeter to me. Even with their seeds and a little bit of that fuzziness, I really enjoy their flavor. And when we look at that raspberry bush growing, there are thorns there, kind of like some of those roses with those thorns. Mother Earth's way of having those thorns to protect them. Um, so picking with my cookum would be two berries for me and one for the bucket. But we had to learn how to pick those berries properly, right? Because we didn't want to get hurt ourselves. So that took our cookum being gentle and kind with us to teach us those things, so we wouldn't get hurt. And so, in order to be able to really harvest the fruits of what helps us and nurtures us when we eat it through our bodies, we have to be able to learn to appreciate and how we harvest it, gather it, pick it. And so that's what I see when I reflect upon this teaching. I also reflect about how we need to be kind and gentle with ourselves as well, to be patient with ourselves, especially when we're raising a family. We need to be able to take care of ourselves that way, to be able to do that with our families. So at this time, that's what I would like to share with you. And I will be sharing more teachings. If you, this will be on their website and their Facebook. Their Facebook and their YouTube page, our site. And I ask that if you want, you can put some comments in there and share your teachings and what you can reflect upon in those teachings, and maybe a story that reflects on that teaching about the time in your life, and please share. And if I also take an opportunity to look at the other things that are available on their website, their Facebook site and their YouTube site, because there's a lot of great resources and other teachings on there as well. In the meantime, I say hi, miigwech. Thank you for allowing me to share, and be safe and keep well. Have a good take care.